Alright, so the other night I watched The Marked Ones. It's kind of like Chronicle, but mixed with horror, and it was a pretty sick movie, so of course, I had to make a video on it. This is Jesse. He just graduated high school, and his life is about to take a wild left turn. Jesse takes some pictures with his family and friends, and when they're leaving, we meet his buddy Oscar. Oscar's a pretty chill dude, valedictorian, all that good stuff. And on the right is his brother Arturo, who's a big-time gang member. Jesse gets home and is like, yo, that camera's nice. Can I try it? And so now Jesse has the camera and we're seeing this through his POV, and we meet his sister Yvette. And we also meet, good lord. We also meet Jesse's friend Marisol, and she looks like she's feeling my boy, low-key. Just look at the way she's looking at him. Look at those eyes. Anyways, they spend the next while just living it up, and later on, Jesse zooms in on his neighbor Anna's place. He tells his friends that she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and she lives right under his apartment, and he hears her on some weird shit late at night. Whatever that means. The next day, Jesse rolls up on his buddy Hector, and Hector checks out the camera. But he accidentally zooms in on that Mexican OT, and so they start pulling up on him. But the boys aren't here to scrap, so they just take off. We cut to the camera in a basket, and Jesse tells Hector to hop in.
I'm not getting in.
He then slides down the stairs and gets busted up. About 30% of this movie is just random shit like this that you do with your bro, but the other 70%? They hear someone yelling and they look over to see Oscar leaving Anna's place. They're like, yo, what are you doing here, bro? But Oscar just ignores them and keeps it pushing. Strange. Later that night, Jesse, his grandma, and Hector are just chilling when they hear a loud thump and screams from the floor below them. Apparently the vent in this room leads right down to Anna's place, so they get close to it, and again, they hear yelling and weird noises. And obviously, they gotta investigate that shit. They grab some wire and a GoPro and feed it into the vent with the footage hooked up on the TV so they can see what's going on. They get the camera down to the room and they see a chick, full birthday suit. And then the neighbor Anna comes out and performs some sort of weird ritual on the other chick. They quickly pull the camera back up and they're just like, damn, that was crazy. The next day they talk to Marisol and fill her in on what happened last night, and how they saw Oscar leaving Anna's place acting real sketchy. Later that night, the broskies get a firecracker and bring it outside to light it off. It doesn't work. Hector goes to try it again, and as he's arguing with Jesse, Oscar jumps down from out of nowhere and flees the scene. The cops pull up to the scene, and we find out that Oscar packed up the creepy neighbor lady. What the f is going on? The next day, Marisol asks if they talk to the cops, but they're like, f that, because remember, Oscar's brother would probably have them smoked. That night, Jesse comes to the conclusion that they should check out the neighbor chick's apartment and look for clues.
Let's go check this shit out, man. What do you think you are? Sherlock Holmes?
Surely they aren't dumb enough to actually go and try to, oh, they're actually doing it. They climb in through a window and check the place out. And I'm not gonna lie, this shit looks musty. I can smell it through the screen. They find some old videotapes as well as some books, and as they're looking, Oscar's brother Arturo comes out of nowhere. He tells them that there's no way Oscar did this, and he tells them to get up out of there. And the next morning, strange things start to happen. The next morning, Jesse wakes up and tells Hector that he had a really weird dream. He gets up, and there's blood on his bed, and he has some sort of bite mark on his arm. And his dog is acting really strange towards him. Weird. They go through a journal that they stole when searching last night, and it's on some weird shit. Jesse finds a drawing of a door and figures out that if you build that door, you can travel through time. Gonna be honest, I watched Evil Dead Rise, so I know going through a creepy book is just never smart. Later that night, they're playing with one of these, I forget what it's called, but when Jesse tries playing, it doesn't work. Jesse asks out loud, are you gonna work or not? And it lights up green.
Are you gonna work or not?
Little weird, but you know, maybe the thing's just messed up. But they continue asking yes or no questions and act like it's totally not weird that the game is somehow answering them. But Jesse's grandma Irma comes in and puts an end to the tomfoolery. Later on, the bros are at the park hooping, and while at the vending machine, two people come up and try to press them. They start beating the shit out of Jesse, but Jesse's able to somehow send both guys flying through the air after barely touching them. The next day, Jesse shows Hector that he can basically float.
Go. Man, get the f out of here, man. That's some crazy shit.
He grabs a chair and then does the same thing off the chair. This is awesome. Jesse has superpowers. Hector's pretty hyped up, so he tries to give it a shot as well.
Go!
It doesn't work out. Jesse can basically fly with a skateboard.
Oh, shit! Oh.
He can blow up a mattress instantly. And so he's kind of feeling himself with these new powers, so they roll up on a random party that night and meet these two girls. They take him back to Jesse's place but can't get in without being noticed, so they make the absolutely expert decision of breaking in and trying to lay wood in the creepy abandoned apartment. Mind you, the creepy lady that lived there just got packed up a few days ago, and you were literally witnessing some weird ritual thing going on. Why would you do that? Jesse and one of the girls head into a random room, but Jesse forgot his raincoat, so he runs to grab it, and leaves her alone in this creepy apartment, which may be haunted. What could go wrong? Sure as shit, she hears a noise under the carpet, so she checks it out. She gets out of there, and Jesse comes back and starts searching the place. But while searching, Oscar appears behind him looking creepy as hell. He tells Jesse that he smoked Anna because she did this to him. He shows Jesse that they have the same mark on their arm, and tells Jesse that the only way to stop it is to ship yourself to the great beyond. Oscar then dips out and Jesse chases after him. He finds Hector across the street and tells him about Oscar. Oscar! Oh, there he is right there. Must have been aiming for the bushes. They go over the footage the next day and come to the conclusion that Jesse's cooked, unless they can find a way to help him. So the next day they go back and go into the trapdoor. Me personally, I would have brought the strap and a couple other people, but what do I know? They find some really weird stuff, as well as a picture of Jesse, a picture of Anna with Jesse's mom when she was pregnant with Jesse, and a picture of Oscar. But they stop when they hear someone moving around upstairs. They peek upstairs and see a lady leaving the apartment. That's their sign that it's probably time to get out of there. Jesse shows the picture to his sister and his padre and points out that he heard that Anna used to do some weird witch rituals on pregnant ladies back in the day. But they don't buy it and tell Jesse that he needs to just chill out and get some sleep. Maybe he should show them the footage of him using his powers, but he doesn't. That night, Jesse pulls some sort of black goo from his eye, and the lights flicker, and for a brief second, we see this man on full demon mode. Something isn't right. The gang pulls up to Arturo's place to try to find some answers. They go to Oscar's room and see he has a wall full of evidence and clues. Arturo tells them that Oscar said that there were others like him, others that were marked. Some witches were trying to build an army. This all gives Jesse the creeps, so he bounces out of there. But Hector makes a smart play and grabs a note with a phone number on it before he leaves. At the grocery store, Jesse sees someone chopping it up with Marisol, and this visibly pisses him off, and he goes over there to break it up. He shoves the guy into oblivion, and when the cashier comes out with a bat, Jesse pushes him too. The guy tries swinging the bat on Jesse, but Jesse catches it with one hand. It's over. Jesse's on his black suit Spider-Man shit. They get Jesse to calm down and talk to him, and he tells them that he can't control himself, and he just feels off. That night, they talk to the spirit again, and Jesse tries to tell it to leave him alone, but the ghost is like, nah, you're mine now. Later that night, Jesse hears his dog barking through the vent, so he goes into the apartment and hears his dog barking through the trap door. But as he goes down to find him, we see some dark figure just standing in the corner like a menace. Jesse looks around for a bit, but he eventually comes across two creepy girls just chilling down there. He tries to dip out, but the trapdoor shuts and locks. Yeah, he might be toast. Hector finds Jesse the next day, but Jesse ignores him until he just looks at Hector and says, "We're not friends." This is obviously really weird behavior from Jesse, and Hector's worried about him, so he calls the number on that paper that he stole. They meet up with Allie, who I believe is a character from another Paranormal Activity film. Allie fills them in on the witch stuff that's going on. Basically, these witches go around and mark unborn children, Jesse being one of them, and when they turn 18, they get possessed.
The power of Christ compels you!
Oh, does it? Does it compel me?
But Jesse can be saved. She says there's one final ritual that Jesse has to go through before he's completely cooked. Later on, Hector walks in on Jesse using his powers to hold his dog up on the wall. This is the last straw. They get Jesse to sit down, and his grandma starts performing a cleanse on him, and bro is not amused. He lashes out and grabs her hand, and then falls down and starts tweaking. The lights then turn off, and through the camera's night vision, we can see Jesse disappeared. But out of nowhere, he teleports back in. They run and hide in a room until it goes quiet and they think the coast is clear. They walk out and find Jesse passed out on the floor. The next morning, while Hector's checking on Jesse, he hears a loud thud, so he goes to check it out. He finds that Irma is nowhere to be found, so he runs outside, but when he turns, he finds Jesse at the top of the stairs. And at the bottom, he finds Irma. Jesse packed up his own grandma. It's not looking good, gang. That night, Hector and Marisol hatch a plan to stop the witches from performing the last ritual on Jesse. Hector brings up a good point.
We should call the cops.
But Marisol tells them that the cops won't believe them. Well, maybe if you show them the footage that you have saved of all the wild shit that's been going on, they'll believe you. But instead, they decide to go to the hospital and show Jesse's dad the footage. What the f***? It's like the worst plan that you could have possibly come up with. Whatever. On the way there, the car breaks down and we see Jesse at the end of the alley on some spooky shit. And while they return for just a second, Jesse disappears. He reappears on the driver's side and breaks through the glass. He drags out Hector and tries to take him out, but Marisol smacks Jesse in the back of the head with a bat, and they put him in the car and drive off. But while driving, a truck comes out of nowhere and smashes into their car. The people in the truck take Jesse and dip out. Needing some help, they go to Arturo's place and tell him that somebody just snatched up Jesse, and without question, they're in. Next up is easily my favorite part of this movie. They roll up on the house where the final ritual takes place. They pop the trunk, grab the straps, and load up. They try the front door, but it's locked, so they pull up to the back door, and it's locked too. But Arturo's buddy says he can probably pick it, he just needs a minute. But instead of staying in a group and watching the homies back, they start walking away. They find this barn type thing, and when one chick jumps out at Marisol, shit pops off. A witch runs at Arturo but gets blasted, another one comes in, boom, gets blasted. Arturo then tells them to run while he holds them off. His sacrifice will be remembered. They run to the house instead of just leaving and find Arturo's buddy slumped on the floor. Apparently his MP5 just disappeared. They look through the windows and there's witches everywhere, bro. They are so Instead of sticking together, they again split up for some reason, and when Hector comes back, surprise surprise, Marisol's gone. Hector spends the next couple minutes wandering around the house while freaking out and is still somehow recording. Oh hey, it's Marisol. A witch gets in and scares Hector, so he runs away and is forced to hide in a closet until the coast is clear. Then, Jesse just spawns in and runs at Hector. Hector makes it into a room and finds a spooky door. Looks an awful lot like that door that lets people travel through time. Jesse starts busting down the door though, so Hector is forced to go through the creepy door, and everything turns black until he ends up in a garage. Shout out to Hector though, still holding onto the camera is insane. He enters the house and finds a woman walking down the steps, and out of nowhere, she freaks out and packs this guy up. In a panic, Hector runs away and runs straight into Jesse. But yeah, that was the marked ones. From having fun and gaining awesome powers to turning evil and fighting evil witches. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Also let me know what you want to see next, but that's all I've got for you guys today, so I'll see you in the next one.